Absolutely massive news for Supercars fans this week with the announcement that Toyota will be joining the championship as a manufacturer from 2026. That's right, in just over 18 months' time, the Supra will be racing wheel-to-wheel with Chevs and Fords on racetracks around Australia and New Zealand. I must admit this news completely caught me off guard. I still can't quite believe that it's happened. So today, I wanted to have a chat about what it means for Supercars, Walkinshaw Andretti United, who are the team that will spearhead this operation, and as always, jump into some of your thoughts at the end. Alright, let's kick off with the key information. Toyota have committed to the championship for at least 5 years, meaning we're going to see the Supra on the grid well into the early 2030s. Walkinshaw Andretti United are the homologation team, and if you're new to Supercars, that's essentially the team that Toyota have chosen to design and develop the supercar version of the Supra, and whatever they come up with together will then be handed to any other teams that want to run the car. And we do know that there will be another. Toyota have confirmed they're on the hunt for another team to run the Supra in 2026, meaning we'll have at least 4 of the machines on the grid. And no matter who is chosen, a crucial component we do know already is that they will be running V8 engines. I must admit, I never thought we'd see a new manufacturer enter the sport with a V8 engine. I always assumed the only way someone else would come in would be with some sort of hybrid, but Toyota have committed to the big screaming V8, and they knew exactly what they were doing, finishing their announcement video with that grumbling sound as the garage door lifted. So what does this mean for Supercars? Well, I can't see it as anything else other than a huge win for the championship. Right from the moment Gen 3 was announced as the next evolution of Supercars, they made it no secret they wanted to attract new manufacturers. And while it took a few years, we have finally seen it happen. And I think this announcement from Toyota is going to bring so much more energy back into the championship, and hopefully investment as well, to help the sport grow and rebound from a tough few years. There's no doubt some challenges ahead. It's one thing to tempt a new manufacturer into the sport, it's another to keep them. And over the past decade, we have seen the likes of Nissan, Volvo, and Mercedes disappear from the Supercars grid, so it's important that they don't let their history repeat itself with Toyota. So while of course Toyota have to earn their success in the sport, Supercars do have a big and crucial role to play with parity, which has obviously been the pain point over the past years since Gen 3's introduction. Supercars of course have taken their tools and partners to the next level in that space, and this year it feels like they are starting to get a grapple on that. Of course, it's a touchy topic, but clearly they are confident in the tools they have available now, and Toyota are as well, which is the most crucial stakeholder here, that they can get it right and that car will be competitive in the series when it arrives. I certainly don't envy the job ahead for Supercars in terms of paritizing another body shape and another engine type in the series, but fingers crossed they get it right, because if they do, I think it will really validate the Gen 3 regs and hopefully mark the start of a new era for the sport. And let's finish up with a chat about WAU, because what a roller coaster that team has been on over the decades. Of course, they were the famous Holden Racing team that had that homologation status snatched away by 888 Racing many years ago, and at the start of Gen 3 they made the sensational switch over the brand divide to run Ford Mustangs. They navigated that whole evolution quite well, I feel, preserving their on-track performance and identity as a team, which is a minor miracle in my opinion, switching between those brands. But now they're taking yet another leap, bringing the Toyota Supras in. And despite the risks, you can understand why they have made this decision though. Supercars is meant to be pretty much a spec series these days, but there's still that aura attached to any of the homologation teams. They're almost the flagship for each of the brands that compete in the sport. And I think this move, this announcement, definitely reasserts WAU's commitment to once again be a powerhouse in the Supercars Championship. So it's a huge statement of intent from the team, and I'm sure they would have preferred to have this agreement in place for the start of the Gen 3 era, so they didn't have this Ford stopgap in the middle, but that's the way things have unfolded, and they've got a few big years ahead of them now trying to capitalize on their current strong form. They're in contention for Bathurst here, they're in contention for the championship still, but now they've also got to put one eye on the future with the development of the new car. Alright, enough of my thoughts, let's chat about what some of you you guys said following this news. First one here from Top Hat Joe. Well, let's just say I think he's quite happy about this news. The second one from Jeffrey saying, good, I'm glad to see Toyota coming in with 4 cars, not just 2. They sound like they are really serious about the sport. And yeah, that was really encouraging for me as well. I think that was one of the big lessons I took from the last influx of manufacturers, again with Nissan, Volvo and Mercedes. You need numbers, not just, I think, to get value out of your investment in the sport, but in terms of data gathering and development, I think it's really handy to have those extra cars on the grid. So fingers crossed that results in a competitive package. Third comment here from Joker saying, I'm still too new of a Supercars fan, an American that found out about Supercars through YouTube, but seeing a third car maker, I'm a fan of it. Seeing only Camaros and Mustangs, that gets boring after a while. And yeah, as I said, while that GM versus Ford rivalry is obviously a crucial part of the Supercars history of the championship, new manufacturers just bring new energy, new investment, and potentially new fans as well. So I also am a huge fan of this news. And the last comment here from John saying, that's cool and all, but where is the Sandown review? And I'd actually like to leave this video on that point with a massive apology for going missing in action, not having any Sandown content out. My day job has required every waking minute of my existence over the past couple of weeks, and I just haven't had the time or the energy to get to Sandown. So I'm going to wrap Sandown up as part of a news video that I'll drop next week. It'll be partially a look back at Sandown and partially a look forward to Bathurst. And of course, I have lots of dedicated Bathurst content coming out in the weeks ahead. In the meantime, would love to know your thoughts about this Toyota Supra announcement down there in the comments section. Let me know who you think the second team might be to run these cars in 2026, and treat people like your trackside while you're down there, and I will see you in the next one.